more serious questions. In a prior forum, all of the candidates acknowledged that Denton is currently on pace to be overstocked on multifamily residences, but the town is lacking an inventory for owner-occupied homes. The average new home in Denton costs over $400,000, which is a lot for the average worker. What responsibility does council have to home buyers to protect their futures? And do you support upzoning to put high-density units inside neighborhoods that are currently zoned for single family? And we'll start with Nick Stevens on that.
Sure. Let me use my neighborhood as an example, because that's the picture I like to draw for individuals on what we can do right. I live in historic Denton, downtown Denton, and that's right off of Oak Street. That neighborhood has been the way it is for well over 100 years. It's these craftsman homes that are beautiful, and there are duplexes and triplexes every which way as well. And on some of the streets, there's accessory dwelling units in the backyard, or those are guest houses in the backyard, and it's created such an eclectic community. I'll give an example of where zoning's gone wrong in our neighborhood. We had a neighbor that when the bike shop closed on Hickory Street wanted to have an 8-person wine bar there. They weren't allowed to. It would have cost thousands of dollars for an application. But instead, a cannabis shop was allowed to open up without any of those fees. I think everyone would recognize that's not fair and that we can do better. And I think it's about sharing that kind of vision with the community on what's gone wrong. And just to answer the heart of your question, do I want to knock down a bunch of historic homes and build a, 10-story complex? No, and I don't think anyone does. But I want to paint a picture of why I bought my house. 102 years ago, Zula Faye Wisdom built and bought my house. And she had it designed as a duplex so that she could afford it. It was probably 50 years later turned into a single-family home, and they built a garage that was turned into a guest house back there. And so it's kind of funny, right? Because 101 years ago, she built a duplex to make her mortgage more affordable, and 101 years later, I bought my home with a guest house in the back to rent out the back affordably to someone else so that I could afford my mortgage. It's kind of about sharing that vision of what the John B. Denton neighborhood looks like with the community, saying this helps everyone. It helps renters, it helps homeowners, it helps the community. I didn't see it, I'm so sorry. And that's that.
And Brian Beck, please.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Nick that everybody up here is not for blanket upscaling. I think we both have a record of saying that all over the place. What you do want to avoid is large sprawl at the edge of town because of the infrastructure costs and the VMT costs to having sprawl. You want to have you want to avoid partly culturally and partly because it's not the right resources. These giant apartment complexes built ungainly into the corners of high traffic highway areas. That's not good quality of life for anything. Everybody's trying to avoid that. Where we need to get back to, and what I've been advocating for a long time, is sort of the missing middle, the townhomes, condos, duplexes that are compatible with neighborhoods, act transitionally with neighborhoods, that allow density to come in, and the citation that Nick just said in the John B. Denton area. This is what can happen if you're not proactive and integrate and understand that historical preservation, which is important, and I've actually been participant of and led some walking tours, not led, but led the development of some walking tours in various areas in Denton to try to have proactive historical planning so you know where you want to preserve and where it's appropriate for economic development. And during those tours, these issues of sort of the silliness of too much overprotection on one hand, coupled right across the street from underprotection. And that sort of lack of nuance, lack of sophistication is what we want to try to avoid in Denton. And I've got seconds left, so I'll just stop there.